Hi, it's Mr. Canada here, and we're looking at how to convert from percents to fractions. So, given our percent again as 60%, well, how are we going to change this into a fraction? We're going to do some simplification to do this. So we're still going to use the definition of a percent as being per hundred, but instead of moving the number over to find a decimal, we're going to simplify our fraction. So, looking at example 1, we have 35% to a fraction. So here, I'm going to write down 35, and I'm going to put it over 100. Right? So, we've dropped our percent sign, written it over 100. Now we want to simplify our fraction. Well, simplifying fractions, if you remember, we just have to divide the top and bottom by something common. So here, I see that 5 will go into both of these, right? So I'm going to divide them both by 5. That means I'm going to get 35 divided by 5 is 7. 100 divided by 5 is 20. So therefore, now we have our fraction from a percent. So, next one, let's do 72%. So 72 over 100. Then, how do we get this to be more simple? Well, keep in mind, 2 is an even number, 0 is an even number, right? So, what can we do? We can always divide by 2. If you can't see one thing to divide by, we can always just divide by 2. Okay? So let's just do that. And sometimes even just having our numbers can see something that we actually know. So here, 72 divided by 2. Well, if 30 and 30 make 60, 35 and 35 make 70, so 36, right? So that's just breaking up into mental math over 50. And if you still can't see a trick, well, just keep dividing by 2. It's a nice quick method. It's not always, it requires a little bit more work, but the work is very easy in my mind. And now we're down to here. Well, you can start to think sometimes, can I get it any simpler? Well, all the factors of 25 are 1, 5, and 25. And then check, well, 1 doesn't count. So can 5 or 25 fit in 18? No. So we're done. And one more example we'll get through is 125%. So what happens when you have more than 100%? Can we still write this as a fraction? Of course. Well, we're still going to write it over 100. And then, well, I'm just going to take what I see quickly. Well, I can see I can divide by 25. We'll do this in one nice step. You could just divide by 5, doesn't matter. This will get to be 5 over 4. Or 1 and a quarter as a mixed. So this is where they can start to bring in our conversions between mixed and proper fractions, depending on what they ask you. So, some practice problems for you to try out. There's 9 of them, so press pause, and then when you're ready, we will go through the answers. Okay, welcome back. So 40%, we are going to start off by writing 40 over 100, and then we can, well, anytime they both end in 0, we're going to just cross out a 0 in each, and then we have 4 over 10, which we know we can divide the top and bottom by 2, and we'll find we get 2 over 5. So 65%, same thing, 65 over 100. And then we're going to here divide by 5, divide by 5. Then we're going to find that that is 13 over 20. And 13 is a prime number that does not fit into 20, so we're done. Next, same thing, 20 over 100. Here I can see that I can divide by 20 in each, which allows me then to be 1 over 5. So, those are some kind of more basic ones. Now what about something that's 17 over 100, 17%? Well, 17 actually is a prime number, and it doesn't fit into 100, so actually we're just done. Sometimes the most simplest form is given to you, so it makes you just think. So if you don't know that if it's a prime number or not, then you might have to go and guess and check, and you might be unsure about your answer. So learning your prime numbers is very purposeful. Let's look at 4%. Well, that's 4 over 100, which is also 2 over 50. Whoops. Which is also equal to 1 over 25. Right? Other way you can think of it is, how do you split 100 4 ways? Well, into quarters, or into 25s, right? 25, 25, 25, 25. So, here we have our 8%, so 8 over 100. Well, if I know that 4 fit into it, I'm just going to divide by. So sometimes you can use other questions to help you. So I'm using the last question, knowing that I can divide by 4. And then I'm going to get 2 over 25, and I'm done. So, moving on. The last 3 down here. So 29 over 100. Once again, 29 is actually a prime number, so we can just stop right there, because it does not fit into 100. 5.5. So 5.5 over 100. Well, we have a decimal within a fraction, and that's a no-no. So, how do we get rid of this? Well, if we times the top by 10, we can get rid of that, and it'll be 55, right? So that'll be 55. That gets rid of it. But because we did that, we have to find the equivalent bottom, so we have to times by 10, and we get 55 over 1,000. So I'm just going to do my working out down here, because now I can actually simplify this. Right? So how? I can divide by 5, right? Top and bottom. So 55 divided by 5 is simply 11, and what is it? 1,000 divided by 5, right? Well, if 100 divided by 5 is 20, then 1,000 is 200. And we're done. 11 is another prime, and it does not fit into 200 evenly. So lastly, 205 over 100. Let's simplify that. So that's going to be 41 over 20 when we divide by 5 on top and bottom. Okay.